Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is AJ, and in today's video we're gonna talk about the players that you might be interested in signing in Football Manager 26. Today we're gonna cover a pretty big and fruitful country, which is Scotland. We're gonna cover each position because I want to create realistic and suitable list of the players for you to keep an eye on. Also, I will not spoil any current and potential abilities of the players, so if it seems good to you, sit back and let's go. First of all, we're going to start with goalkeeper position, and I can tell you in Scotland this position is quite lacking. So it was not very easy to find the good options, and I might tell you that the players I'm going to present today are a little bit worse than their Finnish colleagues that we discussed in one of the previous videos. Also, it's a little bit harsh to evaluate the player just during one season, because the position of the goalkeeper requires a lot of patience, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of playing time for the goalkeeper, which is not very suitable for my specific experiments, because when I analyze the saves, I usually use a huge amount of players and I analyze them during the season, so they don't get stable practice all the time, so it might be a little bit more complicated for them to shine. And we're gonna start this video with Woody Williamson from youth team of Ipswich. Nice reflexes, kicking, and he is quite tall and doing well during the crosses. Pretty much like any other goalkeeper from today's list, he requires some patience and playing time, but I do believe that he'll be able to be a competitive goalkeeper in the Championship and also reach to the English Premier League level. The next player is actually going to be from the same club, and this is Ciaran Slicker from Ipswich. He has good aerial, jumping reach, kicking, and also he is capable of playing the passing game. I think the biggest attribute of this player is his extremely cheap price, and I think he's going to perform quite well in the third-tier European leagues. The next one is the first player that doesn't have its own picture in the database, and this is Theo Simpson from Aberdeen. Pretty young goalkeeper with good decisions, aggression, reflexes that requires some playing time in the second or third tier division in Scotland, but overall with some practice I think he's gonna turn into a really good option for you. And the last option for goalkeeper's position is Callum Ward from Motherwell. Pretty solid and cheap option with good aerial and jumping reach, reflexes, and overall he's going to be a great addition for the teams in second tier Scottish leagues, or will be good second option as a goalkeeper for a lot of teams in Scottish Premier League. So now we're moving on to the right backs, and we're going to start with Mac Johnson, who's playing for Derby in Championship. I prefer not to mention well-known players, but still I do believe that Max Johnson can be a suitable player for the Premier League teams. He's quite balanced, good stamina, pace. Overall, he's going to be a nice representative of Scotland in this position. Okay, so the next player got a little bit of a downgrade compared to the previous version of Football Manager, but overall I think Calvin Ramsey from Liverpool is still a pretty nice player that can suit a lot of teams in Championship and second tier European leagues. He has high injury proneness, but I still think that he will suit well smaller clubs. He will be a green loan option, and you can buy him only for $1.5 million, which seems like a great bargain for me. Going down on the price range, I think Harrison Ashby from Newcastle United is going to be a great signing. You can sign him only for $425,000, which seems to me like a good deal. He has a potential to play well on the Championship level, and he also has a potential to grow up to the second tier European leagues. Finally, we get into free agent player, and I'm pretty happy with this find because Adam Devine is really nice free agent signing. Great physical attributes, he's only 21 years of age, he can play well in the third tier European leagues, he can do well in Scottish League, and it seems to me like it's gonna be a great signing when it comes to the free agents. Okay, so we're gonna open the left back list with the player that need no introduction. This is Aaron Hickey from Brentford. I decided to mention it just in case if you had a huge amount of money, so probably you can buy him approximately for $40 million. but he definitely was it. You can see that he is incredibly balanced, great acceleration, pace, crossing, dribbling, which is extremely helpful for attacking teams. And I think he has just a great work rate and teamwork overall. I think despite the high price, we all know that Hickey is capable of playing on the Premier League level, and I think he's going to be a great option to help you to achieve the greatness on this level. Now we're going down the pricing range a little bit lower, and for 5 millions you can buy Mitchell Frame from Aberdeen. Overall pretty nice physical attributes and surprisingly good dribbling. I think he can fit in lots of tactics as wing back or left back, and overall he has pretty nice attributes for his age. For 2 millions, I guess Jack McKenzie from Plymouth is going to be a nice option. Mostly has a decent attributes when it comes to defensive skills, but still is capable of joining attacks and doing pretty well in attacking football overall. So for this amount of money, I think he's going to be the best option to take. Another cheap young talent that I would like to talk about is Cam Williams from Liverpool. You can buy him for $600,000. Overall pretty decent attributes, has great pacing, acceleration, crossing, dribbling, so all the important attributes for attacking left back is there. He has issues in the face of injury proneness, but still I do believe that he's going to be a great addition for a lot of third-tier European leagues. And to wrap it up, we're gonna finish with the free agent named Callum McDonald. Despite the fact that he's 27 years of age and there will be no more progress, he's still gonna be a nice signing for the lower leagues in Scottish divisions and also for the League 2 in England and for the second tier in Japanese league. He's capable playing in attacking football, he has pretty decent physical attributes, and he still can help you in the lower leagues with a lower reputation when you require someone cheap. Before we're gonna move on to the central defenders, I would like to tell you that training 16 years of age central defenders was a true nightmare to me. I never thought that lack of experience and at times physical attributes will affect this position so much. So even if you're gonna play in the second tier division, older, faster and more physically capable players are gonna destroy these central defenders. So this position requires a huge amount of experience. So I would not recommend send your central defenders in the second tier divisions. It's better to send them to the third or even fourth tier division where they're gonna feel more comfortable. Because in the second tier division, it was a pure nightmare for me. So you're not gonna see too much of very young players in this position. Okay, so we start in central defenders list with very obvious choice, which is Eban Bovat from Portsmouth. Very solid, tall player with very good jumping reach, heading, which makes him a great asset when it comes to the set pieces. But overall, in my 3D matches, he's been really stable, consistent, and I think he's going to be suitable not only for the championship, but potentially for the higher leagues like Premier League, French League, and so on. Next pretty interesting deal is going to be Dane Murray from Celtic, another very tall, physically gifted central defender with great heading, marking, overall pretty capable of playing passing game, and in my 3D matches he played really confidently. We have no issues with him, and I think the most important part is that he's gonna grow and he's gonna get even better than this. So for 6 millions, I think it's quite nice deal to sign. Moving on to the cheaper options, for $325,000 you can sign Ronan Ferns from Celtic B team. Good jumping reach, heading, aggression, bravery. Also seemed like a very nice player. Maybe not as good as Murray, but he doesn't cost that much, so he's going to be a great option for the third tier European leagues. Okay guys, so I know that this video is about Scottish players, but whenever I see some foreign player that really stand out to me, I could not just pass by, and Kofi Balmer from Motherwell is one of them. So he's gonna cost you only $100,000, but still he's gonna bring so much to the table. Once again, great attributes, overall nice performances in the top tier divisions, and it seemed to me like he's a great pick for such a cheap price. So I really enjoy using him. I think it's a great find from my side, so I highly recommend you to sign him. Okay, finally some young central defenders, and I'm talking about Lewis Carroll from Aberdeen. He's 16 years of age. Once again, in my 3D matches I struggled a lot using him. He was not that great, but I still see some potential in him. great aggression, bravery, marking, so defensive skills are up there. He just needs some more practice. You need to use him in third tier, fourth tiers, give him some opportunity to grow and practice. And I do believe that he's gonna turn into a very decent player, and paying only 1 million for him, I think it's also a pretty nice bargain. Okay, and the last central defender on the list is going to be Lewis Jackson from Manchester United. I do believe that for the price of $700,000, he's quite well balanced player, and he's already can perform in the second tier Scottish division, and by the middle of the season he already seemed like a true leader amongst my 16 years of age central defenders. He was really solid when it comes to the passing, quite good interception, and really nice physical attributes. So overall, I think Lewis Jackson has a great potential to play in the third tier European leagues, and you can bet on him. When it comes to the defensive midfielders, this one is really a no-brainer. I'm talking about Lennon Miller from Udinese. A really nice defensive midfielder who can play well as a deep line playmaker or just as a defensive midfielder. Really nice teamwork, vision, work rate, passing, decisions. So overall his passing game is great. He almost ambidextrous, which allow him to play really well in the central midfielder position. He has a great professional personality, and the most important part is that he's gonna progress, he's gonna get better, and he's gonna get to the top level almost guaranteed. Definitely you have to pay a big amount of money for him, but he definitely worth it. Probably not as good as Miller, but still really nice player is Mark Leonard from Birmingham. I can tell you that he was really good in 3D matches, he has great passing, technique, also nice vision, so it makes him a really good deep line playmaker. And he played really well in the top Scottish tier, which make me believe that he's gonna be a great addition for the second tier European teams, and Marco Leonard seems like a nice option in the position of deep line playmaker. When it comes to Jensen Weir from Wigan, he didn't really impress me in 3D matches, but still he has great work rate, teamwork, off-ball movement. He's nice at playing box-to-box midfielder, so he can take position of central midfielder as well. I think he's going to do just fine if you're going to put some trust in him, and he's going to play well in the third tier European leagues. I had a lot of concerns regarding Bailey Rice from youth team of Rangers, but when it comes to 3D matches, he proved himself to be a very decent player. He has some issues with consistency and important matches, but he's only 18 years of age, so I think if you're gonna provide him with a constant playing time, he's gonna be able to provide you with the nice results. Overall, he played quite well in the Scottish League, so I think that he's gonna be quite suitable for lots of teams in the second tier European leagues. I think another player that got into the list because of his transfer value is Aiden Borland from youth team of Aston Villa. Another player that was not really impressive in 3D matches, but still, considering the price, considering his potential abilities, considering the basic attributes that he has, in my opinion, we're supposed to provide him with a constant playing time in third tier or second tier division in Scotland, and maybe with some patience and care, Aiden gonna reach his full potential. Pretty similar story to Aiden. Tyler Fletcher from Manchester United youth team, also gonna be a great addition, and you can buy him only for $1.5 million. And through my experience, he already capable of playing in the second tier of Scottish division, and it seems to me that he already well-balanced deep line playmaker that needs some extra playing time to reach his full potential and play in the third tier European League teams. So next on the list are central midfielders, and Billy Gilmour from Napoli seems like an easy picking as well. He has great passing, technique, composure, first touch, which makes him a great advanced playmaker. You have to pay approximately $36 million, but it seems to me like an adequate deal since you're already gonna get well-established central midfielder, and he's going to provide you with the quality for the long years to come. The next in the line is quite well-known central midfielder, which is Paulo Bernardo from Celtic, the player that was well-known since the last version of Football Manager, really great, young, well-balanced central midfielder who can play really well as a midfield playmaker, and it seems to me like he's going to be a good deal as well. You need to pay only $11.5 million for him, and with these well-balanced attributes, which are crucial for the central midfielders, he's gonna work really well for your team. Going down on the price range, the next player that you might sign for $6 million is going to be David Watson from Kilmarnock. And it seems to me like he's a great, well-balanced player as well, with great natural fitness, which means he's going to serve you for the many years to come. Very well-balanced, still quite young, balanced performer that going to work really well in the position of the central midfielder. One more foreigner on the list is going to be Dylan Levitt from Hibernian. Another well-balanced central midfielder, but the most important part about him is his price. You're gonna pay only $600,000 for him, which seems to me like a great deal considering his potential and ability to grow, and his current ability is already good enough to be involved in the Scottish top tier league. And definitely we have to finish the list with free agent, which is Alan Campbell. 26 years of age, gonna play well as a central midfielder or midfield playmaker, seems to me like a great option for lower leagues or teams with low reputation. As a free agent, he's going to be a nice pick overall. So when it comes to attacking midfielders, the picking is quite limited, so I decided to go with nominal channel striker, Fletcher Boyd from youth team of Aston Villa. Quite versatile, talented young player that mostly gonna fit in as a second striker, but he's also capable of playing as an attacking midfielder as well. So he seems like a good option that will fit you well. In 3D matches he also looked quite impressive, so overall I think he's a nice picking. Next player is going to be Daniel Kelly from youth team of Millwall. Also overall nice performer who can play well as a channel midfielder and looks like a promising player that will help you well in the third tier European leagues as well. Next on the list is going to be Sean McCardle from Celtic, 17 years of age, really nice attacking midfielder that has a great potential, and he really performs well in the important matches. It's pretty harsh to evaluate the player at such young age, but through the 3D matches at times he seemed really well prepared, and I think that by 1 year or two he's going to be suitable for the Scottish Premier League and he's going to have a bright future ahead of him. I might not sound very excited when I'm talking about attacking midfielder position, but that's mostly because most of the players here are way too young, and most of my tactics didn't include attacking midfielder position, so I could not evaluate them all properly, and since they are very young, I think that people like Chris Eadie from Rangers is very hard to evaluate. I think he has a great potential, he's very good in the important matches, and I think ideally you need to send him to the third tier division in Scotland, and maybe after that, a little bit later, he's gonna be able to perform in the top league tier. Okay, now let's talk about right wingers, and the next player, Ben Gannon-Doak from Bournemouth, need no introductions. He's a real legend of Football Manager in the past. He's still a great player in nowadays Football Manager. The player with incredible potential who can play in both positions as a left winger and right winger. In the past versions, he constantly became the legend of the Liverpool as soon as he joined them in the main team. In real life, didn't work out. He moved on to Bournemouth to get regular practice, but still, I do believe that he's one of the best players from Scotland you might sign. Incredible dribbling, technique, acceleration. As a winger, he's gonna be a very versatile, really helpful, and can play for you on a top level. Definitely pricey player, but he's definitely worth it. The next player was quite a surprise find for me. I'm talking about Adedere Mabude from Westerlo, which in reality is not supposed to because he played for Manchester City on the youth level. Another great, very talented right winger with great acceleration, pace. As a winger, that's most important attributes, really fast, technically gifted, and can play really well in the attacking tactics. So overall, I think for this amount of money, he's definitely worth it. And if it's possible to sign him, you definitely need to consider to go for him. When it comes to Rob Apter from Charlton, he seemed like a really nice inside forward. He obtains good acceleration and technique, but moreover he has a great off-ball movement and also finishing. In the 3D matches he got involved really well in the attack, and overall for 4 millions I think it's going to be a nice deal as well. Yeah, I know, guys. One more foreigner, and most of the people are gonna say, is it video about Scotland at all? Or are we gonna mention foreigners all the time? Well, guys, at times when I see that talent is undeniable and I can't go through this, I need to mention this guy. His name is Zebedee Lawson from youth team of Rangers. He's English and he's really decent right winger with great acceleration, pace, technique. I think he's gonna have a great potential ahead of him. And overall, in 3D matches, he really impressed me. Even the age of 16 years of age, he's capable of playing on the top level. And I do believe that he's gonna have a bright future, and you definitely need to keep an eye on him. Yeah, I know, guys. Probably you noticed that I have a lot of word parasites, like I do believe, overall. But keep in mind, guys, I'm not a native speaker. English is not even my second language, so at times I'm gonna face it, but it's a first video that I'm recording without any kind of scripts. So I'm doing my best, and I'm definitely gonna improve when it comes to descriptive English. And I think I'm gonna do much better in the future videos. So thank you so much for understanding, and please don't be too harsh on me. Definitely the last player we're going to talk about for the free agent is going to be Connor Shields. Not someone incredible, but overall for the lower teams in Scottish divisions, he's going to work just fine. He is very versatile. He can play on different positions. He can cover the position of both wingers and central striker. So overall, I think if you're playing in the fourth or third tier division in Scotland, Connor is going to work just fine for you. Opening our list for left wingers is going to be Ryan O'Neill from youth team of Sheffield United. Another versatile player that can play as a striker, but I prefer to use him as a left winger. Nice acceleration, strength, pace, and overall quite balanced guy. This player grew up on me through the season. At first he didn't seem to me like a big deal, but the more I played, the more he's get acquainted with the team instructions and the tactic itself. He turned to be a pretty nice winger. Once again, acceleration, technique allow him to play really well in this position, and he seems to me like a good finisher and overall nice player for the attacking tactics. Another player that I could not evaluate properly due to his very young age is Alexander Smith from Rangers. According to all the metrics and information I could find, he seemed like an incredible prospect that has a very decent potential and has a great attributes right away in 16 years of age. So probably he's going to be one of the best prospects Scotland has to offer. So we definitely need to keep an eye on him, and potentially he's gonna improve a lot into the future. In 3D matches he seemed well, but he needs some playing time, and that's something I could not guarantee him. So through the matches I've seen, he didn't really impress me that much, but according to all the informations, databases, he seemed like a big deal into the future. So we definitely need to keep an eye on him, and you definitely need to give him some playing time so he can improve himself and get to the top level where he belongs. If you're looking for cheaper options for 1.6 million, you can buy Brandon Forbes from youth team of Norwich. Another talented young player that can play as a left winger. Right away you can see his acceleration and pace, and in 3D matches he did really well, and I think if you can loan him or sign him in other clubs with a lower reputation, I think he's going to be a great deal for the future. I want to make it clear that I'm not considering Lewis Dobby from East Kilbride some exceptional player, but when it comes to the price, his value is only $30,000, which for the player that have an experience playing for Celtic seems like an incredible one. And it seems to me like if you're playing in the lower leagues of Scottish football and you desperately need someone with good leadership and basic skills, I think Lewis Dobby is going to be the guy for you. And to wrap it up with wingers, I need to mention Barry McKay. Similar story to Dobby, I'm not considering him some exceptional player, but for the lower leagues, for the free agent, right, when you have a very low reputation, it's really hard to find someone to sign. I think Barry McKay is still going to be capable of playing for the next 2 or 3 years on the good level and help you to achieve your goals. So definitely we need to mention him as well. Okay, finally we're moving on to the strikers, and it makes sense to start the list with Tommy Conway from Middlesbrough. I think overall he's very well balanced, nice striker. By the age of 22 he performed really well in 3D matches, he already has a great attributes, and I think that he's capable of playing in the second tier European leagues if you're gonna provide him with some extra playing time. When it comes to James Wilson from Hearts, there is one big issue, and that's his performance in the important matches, but everything else seems fine, and besides that, he's still gonna be a really great striker for lots of teams. It's really good idea to loan him, and by the age of 17 he really has a nice attributes for the striker. In 3D matches he also performed decently. Definitely there is some lack of consistency, but that's a normal thing for a lot of young players. So I do believe that we need to give him some chance, and he definitely will prove himself with some trust and extra playing time that's gonna help him to improve his extra attributes. Next Wilson we are going to talk about is going to be Rory Wilson from youth team of Aston Villa. Pretty similar story, he's very young and already capable of playing in the top tier division of Scotland. I really like his performance in 3D matches, especially in the penalty area. He's really good at finishing, and he's doing a great job when you need to put the ball into the net. I think if you're gonna provide him with some playing time and put some trust in him, he's gonna be able to reach to the top level. I'm not talking about Premier League, but definitely leagues like Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A is going to be quite suitable for him. Alfie Beveridge from Aberdeen also impressed me a lot. Despite his young age, he already capable of playing in the top tier of Scottish division, and my recommendations are going to be pretty much the same as for everybody else. If you're gonna put some trust in him, if you're gonna give him some playing time, I definitely believe that he's gonna pay you with a huge amount of goals, because in my 3D matches he did a great job. He played really well in the pair of strikers, and he assisted and he scored a lot of goals, which makes him a great addition for a pretty reasonable price. And to wrap up our list, I'm gonna finish it with a foreigner, which is Philip Scorp from Celtic B team. Once again, another extremely cheap player that didn't really impress me that much, but he's only 16 years of age, so how could it be differently? I think he needs to start with the third tier division in Scotland, and according to the databases, according to the information, he's going to be an incredible striker. So I guess you need to pay only 1 million to get him, and if you're capable of loaning him or sign him, why not give him a chance? I think he's gonna deserve it as well. So for the 16 years of age, great attributes, and let's see what's gonna happen to him in the future. Thank you so much guys for staying up to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I helped you a little bit to make your life in Football Manager a little bit easier. I put a lot of effort in this video, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave the comments, and the next video is gonna be published pretty soon because we're gonna visit quite exotic country when it comes to the football. And stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Goodbye.